Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Changeling Dreams over New York. Holy shit! I almost got through that without stammering or fucking up my words. Dang. Anyway, this evening's scene we will find Baron Cardlin Hammerfall as he brings the newly awakened Changeling, who we have decided to name Baby Changeling, but who is not in fact named Baby Changeling. Her name is Cassidy. Can't remember a second.
Her name is
Anyone?
Cassie.
Cassie what?
This is Miss Cassandra Winters. Cascada to all, but she will only answer to Cassie.
Excellent. He has decided that after her rather rough awakening, when she was sat down in a diner, told the very, very basics, given cake, and informed that she would be told more tomorrow, he has met her coming out of a local subway station or bus stop or something of that nature. And the two of them are walking down a deserted street in the... Where did I decide my house was?
Kingsbridge.
Thank you. In Kingsbridge, in the Bronx, towards what appears to be a rather dilapidated, rundown house. That kind of house that you would anticipate seeing in some kind of... It's not quite burned out, but then again, some of the windows are broken. It looks cracked and dusty. It does not look like it is suitable for human habitation, as Carolyn walks towards it, kind of fumbling with a set of keys, large, old-style keys, the kind that you might see your grandmother use to open doors in long-forgotten places. It's always one of these, but then again, you always get lost and you can never find what you're doing, he says as he fumbles with the keys.
I don't mean to insult you once again, but are you a hipster? Because I don't understand the house or the choice of house. And I've only known of hipsters that decide to do that in some sort of way of being ironic.
He will stop as he pulls out the correct key, and he will say, "Allow me to assert something to you, my dear Cassie. Not everything is as it seems." And he will place the key in the lock, open the door. The first thing that you are hit with as the door opens is the fact that it is immensely warm in this room. You are hit by a wave of heat. A very pleasant air that smells like... It smells almost like ionized air and cinnamon mixed together. You stand looking, as you look inside, into what appears to be... It doesn't appear to be a house in the slightest, no. It appears as if you're looking into a foundry. You see great cauldrons of burning metal, but metal of different colors and hues, some bright pink, others lavender, some blue, some gold, some, well, frankly, every color of the rainbow mixed together. There is there's a bellows going that lights all of the fires, keeping them burning away, crackling happily. In the center of the room, there is a long table that has been laid with food, a sumptuous feast prepared, seeming to be hand wrought and hand fixed. Many dishes to tantalize the imagination and to bring forth the sense of childhood wonder. A little bit back from the center of the room, where the feast sits, there is a large carved throne-like chair, behind which there appears to be a huge statue about 20 feet long and as high again, with the wingspan of a dragon laying curled around it, its eyes closed, carved as if asleep. And he will say, "Welcome to my humble home, Miss Cassie."
I wouldn't use the word humble. It's quite fantastic, extravagant even. My apologies for the outside look. I imagine it's stylistic choice.
He will contemplate, and he will say, as he closes the door to kind of, ward, to keep in the heat, he will say, "Well, in a manner of speaking, you see, the very essence of what we are, the glamour that fills our veins, it pulls in places that are, or once were, important, where dreams were made, where humanity's imagination ran free. These places can appear as if at random, Sometimes they're the thicket in the wood where druids used to dance and fairies used to have their balls. And sometimes it's in places like this. This is just the one I happened to find, and I made it to my liking.
And it is wonderful. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
He'll nod and he says, uh, some of our sacred rules are that we will never turn away or not offer hospitality to our own. So that's why I always keep the food here. Every one of our kind is welcome here, so that they may refresh themselves and come back to themselves. May I offer you something to eat or drink, perhaps?
Tea would be preferable. Thank you. I have a question. We're very rare. You said so beforehand, but I didn't understand just how rare. With a rule like that, are we dying off? It's kind of a worry that there needs to be a rule where you have to help others. Is it that bad?
He will walk towards towards the table and lift a what appears to be a china tea service with the kettle, and he will open the kettle and take a deep inhalation of the tea, making sure that it is still warm. Nodding, he will pour it into a cup before. He will actually you will notice that he dodges the question, but he will say, "Do you take milk or sugar?"
2 sugars, if
Wonderful.
you please.
He will spoon 2 sugars into the cup before stirring it and handing it and smiling, hold it out to you.
Cassie will take the cup with grace and just nod her head in thanks and slowly sip the cup. It's a relatively decent night out, but a good spot of tea always helps.
He nods, and you see him. Because obviously you can see his dreaming self. He unbuckles his sword belt, and he rather oddly he throws it at the wall, like not looking at the wall, but he just throws it in that general direction. And you see he almost like you see a that there are a number of hooks, to hang coats affixed to the wall, but instead of an ordinary hook shape, they are hands. And as the sword flies towards it, the hand will physically move and catch the sword, so it stays suspended. Well then,
That's actually very cool. Very Henson, honestly.
mm.
Like, the puppets here. I forget the movie that he's famous for. But I imagine there were quite a hand in that one. Quest for a baby and all that, and a maze.
Cardillan will shrug before he pours himself a glass of wine into a crystal goblet, and he says, "Well then, to your health, my dearest Cassie."
And tears as well, my dear host. And
At this point, as they're having the toast, as I said, we have an open door policy. So if changelings are detected, the door will open if anyone wants to come in.
Alrighty. Z will end up strolling into here. Are Cardlin and Cassie already like at the front? Like, can they just see people plainly coming on in?
Yep, as I said, the door will open. You will see the scene I described. They're standing in front of a table about 25 feet or so from where you enter. And as I say, you were hit by a nice warm sensation. Nice and warm in here.
Yeah. Zia looks around. She has the bigger sword on her back now. That's happening. She'll say, well, good to know that map was accurate. Good evening.
Welcome to my... he will turn and give the official he'll quirk his eyebrows. It's like, I didn't expect to see you again so soon. But he will bow and say, welcome to my home, Sir Zeal Dawnbreaker. Be welcome beneath my roof. Accept its hospitality as it is your own.
Yeah. She'll actually twitch a little bit. It was something Cardlin sent, but you'll see why in just a moment. She'll say, I very much apologize to impose, but I do prefer Lady Zeal.
By all means.
Thank you.
He will extend his hand and say, "May we offer food, refreshments, perhaps?"
I would very much thank you. And Zeal will come on in and have a little bit. It's fairly obvious to Cardalin that she was not here for the food or drink. She just doesn't want to be that bitch.
Cassie, on her part, will kind of smile at Zeal, just kind of give a small wave. They were very helpful when they last saw each other, and she's thankful to know Zeal. Kind of smile, give a small little smile. Hello. It is good to see you again, I assume?
Well, I don't think I could come up with any other adjectives for it. It's good to see you too, Cassie. How you holding up?
Well enough. Still confused on some things. The logistics of physics are currently messing up my brain a little bit, but other than that, I feel like I'm doing okay. At least as good as I could be. Just
That's
feeling
good to
weird in
know.
my own, just feeling weird in my own skin every once in a while.
Well, that's fair. I'm glad to know that things are going, at least not terribly for you.
Cardlin has gone, and he's now sitting in the large throne chair at the end of the room, kind of, absent-mindedly thinking, and he says, "You come to my house dressed for war, Lady Dawnbreaker," he says, denoting the huge-ass sword.
I was mostly going around some of the freeholds in the Bronx. I am unsure if you are currently aware of the situation following Barony at the moment.
Does this speak pertain to the... Sorry. I assume you mean as it pertains to the death of the previous Baron, my honored brother in House Duke.
Ah, so he's dead. Interesting. Well, I've been sent into here to investigate more into that.
Joey, in that case, if no one's confirmed it, he will assume he's dead and say the death. I don't think it's too far a logical jump, but Cardlin will nod, and he will say, "Indeed. There are dark things stirring in this city, I feel." I should explain for the young one.
Explanations are very useful.
Indeed. The courts of our people are still ruled as they were centuries ago. So the aristocracy carve out portions of the realm for their own usages. This extends from the lowliest squire all the way up to the High King himself. So, unfortunately, the current Baron who ruled this area, a member of my own noble house, I'll be with you in a second, Mark. A member of my own noble house has met, or we believe has met, his untimely end. Marcus, as the door detects that you are a changeling, it will just slide open. Just kind of...
So just kind of, Sue sees everybody there, and he just kind of walks in. Hey,
Well, if it ain't a boy named Sue.
been Colette. So I hear there's been some craziness. I came to the Bronx. I figured that's what a crazy was, and look what I find. You guys.
Did you also happen to find a Thalane that was willing to shoot at you?
My brow goes up.
Nah. If I did, he'd be dead.
Well, you see, that is where our experiences differ.
Once again, for the purposes of the youth, but I will go back to this issue in a moment. As we, the Kithane, are children of dreams, Thalane, are they themselves the children of nightmares?
They get a bad rap.
Indeed. But I would ask for clarification on, and I quote, a Thalane attempting to gun down people.
It was certainly quite a sight. You see, but a few hours ago, myself and my squire felt the pull of glamour, swelling up, as it were, someone that was about to crystallize. Thought it would be a good idea to go and see what's going on. When we got there, however, there were 3 Thalane attempting to take our new changeling from us so quickly. As you can probably imagine, we had a certain disagreement about that. And they disagreed with our disagreement. You 3 dead Thalane and myself getting shot twice.
I see.
So we're gonna do something about that. I mean, because if we got nightmare creatures and nightmare realms and nightmare Thalane, that could be a thing.
Indeed. However, it would be unwise to act until we understand if these attitude, or until we understand if these events are connected to one another.
Nightmares is nightmares.
This is the season of Samhain, remember, when nightmares are in the ascent.
Just saying.
You're
Maybe
not,
making a move.
you're not wrong in that assessment. Cardlin kind of leans back in his chair, kind of, pents the fingers together, and he says, did you leave any of the Thalane alive for questioning, Lady Dawnbreaker?
Didn't have quite too much of an option for that. They fought with a surprising amount of zeal, pun intended.
Uh-huh.
You mind if I smoke?
No, by all means, go ahead.
He opens it up and pulls out pulls out a black cigarette. There's one. We good? Okay.
I'm fine, thank you.
Cardlin will politely shake his head.
So what's the plan? Nobility and all that?
Well, whilst I personally don't really make my home here in the Bronx, I've still been sent here to investigate the situation with the Baron, and, well, people here are getting terrorized by some things that, well, don't need to do no terrorizing. So, that's on my plate, too.
What about the kid?
He's been safely taken to the Gwydion Baron of Manhattan.
Not that one. He points at Cassie. That one.
That'll be our Lord Baron over here, who is, I assume, venturing her, at least for the moment.
Cassie, May, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, and Cassie's just kind of like watching this back and forth, just like, what the hell?
Cardlin will kind of he once again, he's very deep in thought, sitting up on the chair, and he says, I am happy to mentor Miss Cassie if that is what she desires. He has phrased that as a rather pointed question to Cassie, if it didn't sound like it.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
He said, I am quite happy to mentor Miss Cassie if that is what she desires.
Not for nothing, but all her screw-ups are gonna be your screw-ups. You know that, right?
Of this I am aware. However, I will point out, we are she. We do not screw up.
There's even like Zeal kind of looks over to that one, like,
We are infallible?
Cardlin kind of, he can see that the room is against him on this, and he just kind of perfunctorily lets it drop.
This guy over here.
But yes, as I have said, for the time being, it would be wise, Miss Cassie, if you would care to stay here until you understand what it is the world is now, the things that are your responsibilities and what you must know. And then when you come to know this, you may make your own decision as to the path that you will walk. Is this agreeable to you? Oh, sorry, I didn't read that. Joey, if it's a changeling or somebody with or a Kithane or somebody with the dreaming in their blood, basically glamour, the door will just automatically open.
Okay. Do you see a lady, this lady, walk in the door?
Oh crap.
And she looks around at everyone. She isn't smiling, but she doesn't look mad or angry. She just walks in. She's not very obviously she. And then her eyes go to Cassie. And she smiles.
Cassie is just going to raise an eyebrow and kind of do her best to give a smile back, but just kind of look around towards Kaladin. Just kind of a gesture of who?
Joey, I'm gonna roll my charisma plus etiquette right quick.
Okay, what are you rolling it for? Be
Make sure I act right in front of whoever this is.
okay.
Joey, can I roll intellect politics to see if I can identify who this person is? Because fuck do I know.
Go ahead.
Zeal, rather than think about who she is going to say, well, good evening there. I don't think I've had the pleasure to meet you.
That was bad. I have no idea.
I don't think you. No, I don't think you have. In any case, I'm here to meet her. She inclines her head towards Cassie.
Cassie will kind of stand up straight and just kind of give her best kind of curtsy. Hello, I am Cassie. Is there anything I can do to help you? I do not know of you, but you seem to know of me.
Yes, I know of all the members of my house. We're very glad to see you return to us.
Which house would you be part of, my lady?
She smiles and says, House Ilunid. You may call me Neoleth, for lack of a better name.
Cassie, having some sense of dignity and etiquette, will just kind of give a curtsy. It is good to meet you, my lady Neolith. How can I be of service? If there is anything that I need to do, I'm perplexed by the nature of everything.
I understand. Gotcha, Marcus. You're acting very, very good. Like you're acing that shit. And she says, "I'm merely here to make sure you are all right, and to observe for now."
My good host here is simply explaining some of the niceties of the way of us, she and Changeling all together, right? And she'll kind of look at Kaladin, just for like a reassurance.
He will nod and he will say, "Indeed, I did not know you were of the House of Sorcerers, but it is good to know, he will say as he inclines his head to the new she with a kind of, a level of deep respect. And he will say, you are very new, and it is understandable that you may not remember things that others might, for this is not the first time the soul within you has set foot upon this place. So there is much that you may be able to learn of who you were.
By the way, you know how the dreaming usually tells you what someone's rank is if they've got title?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't recognize what the dreaming says about this woman's rank.
That's fair.
Alrighty. We'll just default to my lady for right now, at the very least.
Yep. She's just walked up to like next to Cassie and is just standing there, resting a hand on her shoulder. Cardalin, that hand you think you see for just a moment a glimmer on her ring finger.
Bitch! Bitch! I like that. I'm coming for that ass.
Oh boy. Oh boy, I feel like this is Cardinal's first thought.
No, Cardinal actually, no, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. As long as they're with a good host, he doesn't care. Breathe. He's zen. I'm zen now. Cardinal will kind of, as I say, he's got his fingers pented. He will say, so, it is very interesting. He will look at Cassie and he will say, House Elunids are the House of Sorcerers. They are known for their mastery of the arcane, and they delve deeper into the concepts of what the dreaming is than any other house. As in the metaphysical nature of the dreaming. There are those who delve much deeper into the dreaming itself. You're not wrong, Joey. Sorry, I just read the chat. You're not wrong. But he says, in that case, since Cassie is gone. But I would ask, going back to our previous topic of conversation, then, Lady Dawnbreaker, what is it that you would recommend we do in the face of these ill portents?
Well, the first thing that I would highly suggest is, without knowing too much about what's going on with the Baron here, or worst case scenario, our late Baron, people here are without any sort of leadership, without any sort of person to look to for guidance. The people here need to know that someone is trying to keep them safe.
Have you investigated why the Baron has not been fulfilling his duties?
I have not, my lady, though it is at the top of my list.
She nods. I understand earlier today you went into a freehold filled up with statues. This is correct.
Yes.
And she smiles. It's one of those smiles, that promises mystery and says she knows something about what's going on.
It's House Elunid. They know everything. They say nothing.
Right? Yeah, no, like this, I know this shit. I've done this shit with Julian. Julian's like, I already knew. I found out a week ago.
Cassie, for her part, is just going to kind of stare at this mysterious figure with, wonder. She's got, a very icy glint in her eyes of just, I want to know everything also.
Weird question, Joey. Does the sheet actually have the living legend for the faceplate, or do they not?
No, because it doesn't fit with who this actually is. I'll just say that.
That's entirely fair. Because I do have the living legend for my own, so yeah.
What did you say your name was again, Joey?
I'm putting it up on Allure Third.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
One way or the other, the Count will need to be informed not only of the attacks this evening and the death of Thaleen, but also the destruction of the Nightmare Realm and Central Park, as this all falls under his jurisdiction. Joey, question: does the same Count who is Count of the Bronx, is he also Count of Manhattan?
Yes, the count is the count of the whole city, because the whole city is one county.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, he will say, the Count will need to be informed of this so that he may make preparations should he see fit. And if indeed, as I have said, Samhain fast approaches, preparations will need to be made.
That may prove difficult. Have none of you wondered why the Count has not intervened in the matters in his own city?
I have a question, sorry. But why is Samhain so difficult, exactly?
Samhain is the time. Humans aptly associate Samhain with the darkness, the mystery, that thing that claws or creeps up your neck. For Samhain is the time when nightmares prevail and stalk the dreaming, where the darkness becomes darker, the shadows become longer, the teeth become sharper. Samhain is the time when humanity gives in to its dark impulses, to the time when the fright becomes more tangible. So we must endure Samhain each year, but it is a festival of our own darker natures.
Darker natures, you say? I see. That is interesting.
But I am curious why it is that the Count has not moved to intercede on the affairs of his city.
Perhaps, good son of Dougal, if you are curious, you should investigate. While good daughter of Scatha here investigates the Baron.
Indeed. I think that that's an excellent idea.
Now, forgive me if I may seem a bit too jumpy tonight. I've seen quite a bit in the past 24 hours. However, my lady, as Tim checks her name, my lady Neela, it seems as if you know a little bit more than you'll let on. Anything you know
Yes.
would be very much appreciated.
You see, in the dreaming, there's a difference between what I know and what I may say.
Zeal just blanks and she's just thinking in her head, these goddamn Ilunians and their goddamn Ilunian bullshit. Julian's laughing in the background saying, don't tell that bitch shit.
Cassie, for her part, her eyes are just going to go a little bit more wide and just going to be like a little bit more wonder. She's very fascinated by the being before her.
Now then, you are right. We will gain nothing through inaction. At this point, Cardlin will stand up and, he will stand up and he'll walk down from where he was sitting. And he'll say, Lady Dawnbreaker is right. We should investigate first the absence of the Baron. And then, if we find evidence to that, we will find out if we can A, bring it to the Count, and B, if not, why he will not receive it. Are we all upon the same page?
I definitely find that agreeable.
However, there is a task that I must perform first. He will kind of turn on his heel and he will look at Cassie up and down and he will say, you are she, like we are, he will say, gesturing to the room full of she and a Fisky. He will not gesture to the Fisky, however. And he will say, you require a symbol of your authority as she and an emblem of your. You require a symbol of your authority as she, and a means to defend yourself. And I would like to make you such.
I would be honored. I have seen your work, as with our first adventure, and yes, of course, if you would please. I do not want to be caught unawares, and if I should need to defend myself, I would like to have the means too. My burst of ability yesterday was foreign, and I don't know how to control it. Having the means to defend myself in a more physical sense without having to rely on something I don't understand yet. That which I do not understand yet. It would be preferable, and completely thankful. Thank you.
Cardlin will look at the mysterious Ilunid and he will say, "You who represent the House of Sorcerers, I have a question."
She looks back at him steadily. What is your question, Crafter?
In the time when the dreaming was in the world and we were of it, he will point to Cassie and he will ask, "What was the name she bore?"
She looks to Cassie. Cascada.
Very good then. You see him, he cracks his knuckles, at which point he says, "This should not take very long." He will let out a very kind of, he puts two fingers in his mouth and he does a long whistle, and you know, that has the kind of up-tempo noise. At which point, because this is important, you notice the fact the dragon curled around the chair twitches. Which people thought it was a statue. It's not a statue. Of course it's not. As it very slowly kind of raises its head up, brilliant kind of copper. It's got a coppery hue, so it looked like a metal statue. As it takes deep inhalations of the air, kind of like, snorting. As a matter of fact, it's going to lean down incredibly close to Cassie because she's new and in the room, and it's going to take deep kind of sniffs of her, kind of getting her scent.
Cassie, having common sense, will not judder in fear. She will kind of turn her head. Everything here is just so interesting, so much information to digest and understand, and she would kind of smile at this she will smile at this dragon and just kind of give him her most softest smile. Hello there.
In theory, I should let Tim play the dragon, or not Tim, Joey play the dragon, as I really shouldn't do it, but, if he bites your head off, that's his deal.
And the dragon just sniffs her and then looks at the other woman in the room. The other looks at Zeal and sniffs her, sniffs at the she who walked in, who just raises one hand and puts her hand on its snout and says something in a language that you don't understand. And then the dragon just nods and then goes off to do whatever your character needs it to do. Cardalin.
Yeah, basically the dragon is going to use its fire to heat up the forge, because forging things in dragon fire is cool.
And then, yeah, you can go ahead and make that roll to make her something. And while you're doing that, she just places her hand on Cassie's brow and just says something in that same language, and you feel a bit of magic settle around her and on her. But other than that, there's no visible effect of the magic. You also get the smell of like the smell that like fills the room when she does this. It reminds you of the moors, the wind going over the open moors, and a sunlit sky. You don't know how it smells like that, but that's what it smells like.
Cassie will look at the High Lady who was touching her brow, just kind of raise an eye, really scrunch her eyebrows just a bit. I do not understand yet.
But you will.
There are many things I do want to. I want to understand everything now.
And she actually produces a small ring. It's completely like decorated, and just hands it to Cassie. You will be able to contact me with this should you require assistance or teaching.
I don't know why
I will
that's
use
saying.
this with honor. Thank you.
Just a moment. I don't know why that's saying 0 successes when it actually rolled like a lot of successes.
Let me see.
There are no ones to even count the successes. So. Yeah.
Because I think with the code that you use, I think it had to be a 4 to count as a success.
Oh, okay.
Because
well, in
when
that
you do
case,
it, you
I'll
have to
just-
put the lesser than symbol before the equals to show that it needs to
Oh,
be,
okay, cool.
I think,
I
more than,
awesome.
or the more than symbol.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 successes with the willpower. So he will come back. He's actually stripped to the waist because he's working with incredibly hot, metal. So he takes off all the clothes down to the waist. He's incredibly thin with decent muscular tone. Interestingly enough, as he turns around to pick something up, you'll see the fact his spine, you notice, is actually breaches ever so slightly through the skin of his back and is entirely made of metal all the way up and down his back. Because I had to pick another replacement part, I just figured out, and that sounded cool to me. But he will then present you a slender sword, probably a one-handed sword, that has basically inlaid into it. It has a shocking blue tint to it. So the blade itself, it looks icy blue, and affixed into the handle, it has a stylized, beautifully carved snowflake affixed into it. Once again, in a shocking blue. And he says, "This is frost. This I present to you, hewn from frost, to cut those down who you would see fit, with winter's chill touch. It is for you to name, however, as all swords should have a name."
It is probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And Cassie, staring at this thing, will feel a deep connection within her soul. For some reason, the shocking ice blue and the cold feel of the blade, it is right, it is correct. Her soul sings for this. This is what belongs. There needs to be more. But right now, the soul will settle for this. And she will smile, just kind of gaze at the blade. Must I name it now?
No, when it does something that you feel is worthy of its name, you may name it.
I thank you. I believe this and I we will be on a journey. It fits already. And kind of, I guess if he's offering the bridge, she will take it and just kind of hold it close to her chest, gazing at the stylized snowflake deeply.
Remember, child, this is made from this is made from the steel of the dreaming, so mortal eyes will not see it.
Of course.
In that case, he will put on kind of an overcoat or a red overcoat, and he'll say to Zeal, "Shall we depart then and see if we cannot find answers to the Baron?"
Oh, by the way, the minute anybody looked away from the woman who was talking to Cassie, she disappeared.
Oh, cool.
Goddamn time realm fucking Wayfair bullshit.
It's magic.
Actually, wait a minute. Can Cassie roll her fucking house moon to see what the fuck she used?
Go for it. It's a perception kenning. I can roll it for you since I actually have your sheet up.
Oh, thank you. Please and thank you.
What is the difficulty? Okay.
I think it's just a standard diff roll, isn't it, for the Lunar House?
Okay, so you got 4 successes. So the only spell you can detect hanging in the air is appears to be the scent of it hits you. It's the scent of fire, of blood, of war, the scent of clashing armies, striking metal, and the realm obviously you smell the whimsical nature of the Fae, but also the inexorable movement of time, like a great river, unable to be stopped, but diverted even just a little bit by the greatest of the fair folk. And out of game terms, she used Dragon's Ire, and Time.
Get it.
Gotta love Dragon's Eye.
Same.
Cassie's just gonna be kind of blown away by all this and just kind of stare at where this woman used to be and just kind of shake her head in awe and kind of look at Kaladin. Could I possibly be that cool one day? Or is it just dreaming?
Calidor, yeah. I can remember the name of my own character. It's Cardilin. Cardilin. Okay, thank you. Cardilin smiles and he says, "But here, my dear, dreaming is reality."
That is true.
By the way, Maya, Cassie will be able to remember the scent of her magic, like the feel of her magic whenever she encounters it again. So I will let you know if you encounter her magic again.
Sweet, thank you.
No problem.
I now have the very interesting question: where is the former Baron's freehold?
Don't worry, Zeal can take you to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm thinking if we go via the dreaming, we could fly.
I mean, it does. Most freeholds have a door into the dreaming. You could go into the dreaming and attempt to enter his freehold through the dreaming.
And if we do that, we can fly.
I mean, Zeal would probably say... Actually, no. Is Cardlin bringing this up in game?
Yes. He actually makes the point of, if we go via the dreaming, we could always fly.
Zeal will say, well, yes, but the dreaming also has its own share of unpredictable foes and obstacles.
You're not incorrect. So, we have a choice between gun-toting Thalain and the possibility of goblins and dreaming. Good lord, this sounds like a bad D&D game.
Or a good one.
Goblins? Goblins are a thing.
Goblins are a thing. Although, to be fair, goblins are actually quite excellent craftsmen and drinking companions if you can get them in the right mood for it. They're just cantankerous little bastards.
Oh, okay. I'm probably gonna need, like, a condensed list of what is and isn't.
Very well, then. Odd question. Does any of us actually out of character, do any of us actually have a car? Because I know Cardlin bloody well doesn't.
Zeal has a car.
Excellent!
She doesn't. She's a traveling guide. Of course she has a car. Shit.
Yeah. In that case, yeah. So we will go to the Baron's freehold via the actual Grey World for science.
Cassie's always down for science shit. Cassie will pose a question though. She will look to Cardilin. You say that this is for the dreaming. What will it look like when it is not in the dreaming? Like, what will it look like to others?
I'm going to contemplate that, because, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, an item in the dreaming should have a roughly similar real-world equivalent size.
I think so. I'm not too sure.
I don't think it quite corresponds like that. Like, you could walk into a walk-in closet and then it's like a fucking castle, from what I understand.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I thought items should be roughly equal-ish.
That's treasures. Only
Okay.
treasures need to have a Grey World equivalent because treasures exist in both worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, if it has to have a thing, it's probably a pen. Probably looks like a pen.
Yeah.
Hella pens.
Down for that. Alright, thank you. I mean, at least I'll be able to keep it on my person from all times.
That because Carolyn thinks it's funny because in this case the pen is mightier than the sword.
Cassie actually likes it because Percy Jackson.
Oh God, I feel bad now because that was a terrible, terrible book series. Okay. I'm okay. Ugh, no, I'm not.
So you guys are heading off to the Baron's freehold, correct?
Yes.
We're going to be getting John in the scene soon. Once he does get in, he was always there.
Okay, sounds good. We'll catch him up when he jumps on the scene. So you guys get to the Baron's freehold with no issues. It's, you know, an old brownstone. Fairly big for, you know, a individual person's house, you'd think. Once you enter through the gates, which still swing open, completely unlocked, you walk through the doors, you feel the familiar sensation, the sort of twisting sensation of walking into a freehold, and you are back where Zeal and Finn were earlier.
Just in case it becomes apparent or because it becomes needed, Joey, gonna throw. I'm gonna say Cardlin will remove a small notebook from his pocket and he will write. What seems like a good one. He will write his own name forwards and backwards 3 times each. So he'll write Cardlin, then he'll write it in reverse, then he'll write Cardlin, then he'll write it in reverse 3 times as a bunk for naming one. I'm just going to throw it onto myself because if there comes a time when I have to read random shit or do something like that, I want to be able to read and understand all languages.
Go ahead and roll it.
What level
I'm gonna
of
say
bunk would you
that's
give
a
me?
minus. I'm gonna say that's a -3 for the bunk.
Cool. And Faye is my affinity. Ha 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 ha. So that's going to be 5d10, 5d10 plus 4, the difficulty 8. Alt. I had forgot to write the slash or, but slash or. Okay, so we got 4 successes, so I'm good for the rest of the scene. I can speak and read, or I can understand and read all languages, and understand all ciphers and or hidden meanings of words if they have any. Hooray!
Okay. So, what do you guys do?
What's the inside of the brownstone like?
It's where you guys are standing now. It's a long hallway with 3 other hallways that branch off of it. At the end of the hallway is a pair of glass doors that appear to lead into the outer gardens.
Myself and Finn have already swept most of the place. Those statues I mentioned, there are about 20 or 30 of them.
Statues, you say?
Yes.
Could you show me?
Can do. And Zeal will take them to one of the statues.
Which one do you take them to?
Probably that first one they found of with the hand that was outstretched outside the door.
Yeah. So you see, basically the statue looks like a knight in full regalia reaching out through a door, like reaching for something. There is another statue of a young woman on the bed with holding a child in her arms.
Okay. Joey, I'm gonna do a. This is probably gonna be perception crafts. As a matter of fact, it would be in order to really look over the statue because the hand is outstretched and that tells me something. I'm looking to see if there's any. I'm also in the home of a Dougal Baron. You know, I kind of know how these people think. He's going to see if there's any kind of weights, counterweights, anything that would suggest this hand is meant to move. Basically, even no matter how minute it is, like cuts in the stone that might suggest that there's something underneath the actual stone, etc.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
What diff would you give me for that?
Let's say diff 6.
Hmm?
Diff 6.
Okay, cool. So that drops to 4 because Master Craftsman is great. So, and holy crap, that's 9 successes.
No, there's nothing in that that
Damn.
indicates it is meant to move. It is a solid piece of marble.
Is it a very well carved piece of marble?
Almost lifelike, you could say.
Oh, balls.
Yeah.
That's never a good thing to be described as.
As a matter of fact, hey Joey, with the 9 successes to look it over, is there any minute detail that might be odd for a sculptor to carve? Like, for example, if he had the newspaper under his arm, or I don't know, was wearing bathroom slippers.
His mouth is the statue's mouth is open, like it was in the middle of saying something, and you can see like the whole inside of his mouth, like his tongue and everything, is like carved.
Okay. Cardlin will then walk over to the statue of the mother and the baby. Are these two separate statues, or are they fused together by any chance?
They're separate, it appears.
Oh, God. Anyone
Joey,
who's
can
looking,
I
you can-
just case the dog?
Yeah, go ahead, roll Dex Larson, you see what you pick up.
Because I'm in the room with you, Tim, you can see all of the color physically drain out of Cardlin's face. Like, oh shit, we're in a bad place.
Yeah, Zeal says. Alright, so that's
Holy shit, Cassie, that was loud.
Cardinal, I'm sorry.
Ah, hello. Sorry, what were you saying, Tim? Because I couldn't hear you over the bus noise.
Zeal asked, so it seems my instincts were right, and these were definitely people at some point or another.
These were most assuredly people. Yep.
What kind of magic would do this?
Hey Cass, you got common sense. You could try your trick that you tried earlier with Neolith.
Okay.
To see if you could actually determine it.
Alright, so I would roll, well, he would roll, but in fact, it'd be Kenning and wits? Or, well, no, it would be fortuitous,
It'd
no, anything.
it would be perception and kenning.
Yep, okay, let's try for that then. Sorry, it's like loud.
All good. Marcus, with your with I believe like 7, 8 successes, you're able to pick up a lot of nice stuff that you can sell for quite a bit if you wanted to. Like this is expensive, finely made stuff.
Yeah, I'm just looking for like secret, like a safe hidden behind something or whatever, that type of thing. Hidden stuff.
Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, you'd find like several like safes hidden in the wall behind like pictures and stuff. Some of them have pretty complex locking mechanisms. It looks like.
Do they have keyholes?
Some of them do. Some of them do not. With your house spoon, Cassie, the magic that did this was metamorphosis. It smells like okay, this is gonna be a really weird description. It smells like the boundary between a forest and a clearing. It smells like where the ocean meets the land. It smells of boundaries of transitions. And the realm, that sort of secondary layer of scent is obviously the scent of the Fae, but also this feeling of massive magnitude, endless river of time.
Cassie will kind of look to Kaladin and kind of tell him these things, like close to him, and kind of point at the statues. Like, it's a shifting thing, but powerful, extremely powerful. I'm not sure how long it'll be like that, if it's permanent or not, but it's not letting go of them anytime soon, I don't think.
Sorry, I just saw what Marcus said to me. Cardlin will he's still busy kind of tapping the statues to see if there's anything there. And he'll turn around and he'll say, "Are you robbing the bar? Okay, okie dokie."
I personally would strongly advise against.
You don't know if they're actually conscious of what's going on. They could be listening to us even now or watching you from the corners of their eyes.
That could be, which means you could have a lot of witnesses.
I just want to say, I love how your guys' problem isn't stealing; it's the fact that you don't know if there will be witnesses.
Oh, I have a problem with the
No,
stealing.
Zill's problem is that that stealing is happening, but she's trying to talk to him from an unseelie point of view. It's very difficult.
That's fair. Yeah, I got you, Marcus.
Oh, I don't want this stuff. I don't want.
Cassie's being logical.
Got you, Marcus.
Cassie's just being logical. Just like, how would you get rid of it? It can be traced back, can't it?
No.
Cardlin thinks though, and he says,
No.
Though, look, okay, right. Sue, I don't want you to take anything, but honestly, you could, open the safe so we can see what's in them.
Maya, we're getting some block.
Sorry.
What was that, Tim?
Okay.
Oh, there was just some echo off of Maya. That was it. My bad.
So,
I'm off the
what
bus.
you want me to? So what you want me to do is open the safes?
Yeah.
Just look inside them.
Well, what we'll do is we'll open the safes, we'll look inside, see if, for a start, if anything's been taken or if it's obvious that they've been manhandled or abused hither to this point, or if there's anything of unusual value in them that might have necessitated this, he says as he points at the marble statue.
They'd have to be as good as me to find these safes. But okay, yeah, sure, I'll open.
Thank you.
He pulls out a key. It is an old-fashioned skeleton key. It's like black and with age, and it looks like it's made out of an actual skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks over to it, and he just taps it, and it pops open.
Yep.
That's handy.
So which of the saves do you check first? Was it one of the super well hidden ones, like that you would need 9 successes to find? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you open it, what you see, it opens into like a window is what almost looks like. Like there's not just a little safe back there. It opens into a complete whole nother room. Filled mostly with like gold and stuff, but you see there's a sword which is even just looking at it without kenning it or anything, you can tell it's a resonating power, and a diadem, kind of resonating power, and a few other treasures like that.
The Baron will walk into the room. He will thank. Sorry, it's Sale or Sale or the name.
He goes, "Wow, that's some nice stuff." Then close it back.
He will. The Cardlin will say, "Hold just for a moment, please," as he steps into the room. Can I make? What would the roll be to identify the items, particularly because they're probably Dougal items anyway?
Intelligence Greymare.
I can do this.
Difficulty 8.
Oh, Jim. I wish I put my dots in the Greymare. Oh, wait. No, wrong sheet, Evan. Aha! I actually do have decent graveyard pool. Victory is mine. Hashed 4, 8. Sorry. 7. Difficulty. 8. I want to actually know the answer to this. Oh, that had a hashtag. God damn it, I'm getting old. Copy. And then paste. Hash. There we go. 2 successes with the willpower spent, Joey.
Okay. So you can.
Oh wait, sorry. If my I don't know if my intelligence spec will apply because it might be free.
Let me check.
No, my intelligence spec is creative. I doubt that would apply.
Nope. So
Cool.
the sword you can't really identify. Like it just seems like a really nicely made sword. The crown bears the marks of a lil. Like it's got all their kinds of heraldry on it. And when you like reach out, if you reach out like and touch it, like your mind is temporarily just like overwhelmed with just the sheer obedience this thing instills in you.
Oh, that's not. Very calmly, because he wants this to be on the record. Is the diadem in a box?
No, it is
Okay.
lying on the very top of the hoard.
Oh, it's a hoard. Okay.
Okay, this is like a hoard.
He will turn around and he will turn around and he will look at Zeal and he will say, "Lady Dawnbreaker, would you please witness something for me?"
But of course.
He will say, I, Baron Cardlin Hammerfell ap Dougal, take possession of these items at," and he'll just kind of look at his watch for whatever time it is. Whatever time it is, insert. "So that they may be kept safe in the absence of their current owner, that they shall be returned to his keeping should he be found well, or be given to the disposal of the disposal of my superiors within my house should he be not, lest the dreaming itself strike me down. This I swear once, this I swear thrice, this I swear thrice." Okie dokie. I take it that constitutes a binding oath, Joey?
Mm-hmm. That's good enough for the dreaming.
Okay. He will take the sword with kind of due reverence until kind of, affix it to his belt. He doesn't draw it or anything melodramatic. And he'll take off his cloak, or his coat rather, and he'll wrap the diadem in the cloak. Does that stop me from feeling obedience to it?
Yes.
Okay. And he will say, "I have the odd suspicion, based on what I felt when I touched this item, that this might have been what the intruders were looking for when they came here." He says, denoting the wrapped up crown.
The curious item is cleverly hidden. Or not?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, this was the safe that if you had rolled 8 successes, you wouldn't have found.
Yeah, like you said, I found it. So
Okay.
that one.
Actually,
That's
Joey,
good.
from the perspective of I'm gonna to kind of debunk that statement, because I get the suspicion that the gnarled old key is magically, woozy. He's gonna look behind the door that we came in, and I'm gonna look at the locking mechanism from a craftsman's perspective. Hey, Joey, how bitchy is that lock?
There isn't a lock.
Really?
Nope.
Oh, interesting. But with that, Cardinal will basically rejoin the party, and I'll be back in a few minutes. I just have to go get a drink.
Okay.
Cassie, for her part, is actually going to go up towards the statue and kind of head on the shoulder. We'll figure something out, I'm sure.
Is anybody watching as Cardinal exits the room? Is anyone watching him?
I figure Zeal was right there.
Okay. Zeal sees a flicker of movement, just really
Here,
slight. Okay, it's just really slight movement on the ceiling of the treasure room.
Hand on handle. We may not be alone.
You think this guy had a god dog?
Maybe. I ain't gonna know unless we see it.
Wouldn't open the view, wouldn't you?
She'll look around and see. She able to catch like any of the features of whatever was crawling up on the ceiling or whatever.
Nope. You just saw a little bit of movement.
So about my payment.
Well, like I said, I wouldn't be able to pay you, but I will certainly do my best to make sure you get what you deserve.
Well, that doesn't sound good. Sounds like a threat.
You know what I mean. You'll get your just rewards.
We'll see. So this guy got whacked. You guys are checking the place out to see if he's actually dead or not.
And essentially, we've all heard stories of people that are rumored to be dead only to come back triumphantly, or just be alive somewhere else. It's quite common occurrence, to be honest.
Cassie's just still poking at the sculpture. Whatever transformation happened, within dead or not, or simply not here, there is still this.
We still haven't quite checked out it.
It was changing art, I think, from one thing into another, but still the same thing.
Zeal will kind of shrug and she'll say, I was never much of a magician. I just kind of learned the things that help me do my job a bit better.
Apparently my homecoming is to magic. House of Sorcery.
So what if, just saying, let's play this what if game. What if these things here are what happened to the people who was here before?
That is a suspicion I have, yes.
These statues were changed into what they are. You never know. Or they could have been chairs.
Could be not. Who's to say? We got ourselves a genuine mystery. But if we don't want to look like the culprits, we better have a nice story to tell some noble guy.
You raise a good point. We are the only ones who are here, and none of this has been told, I imagine, to others, because Uziel and even Kaladin look a little surprised. What higher up would you go to tell them that? Well, you found a bunch of weird-looking statues that are a little bit too perfect.
You gotta take his word for it.
At that moment, at that moment, there is a knock on the door of the freehold.
Fantastic timing.
I certainly was not expecting visitors. Zeal starts to make her way over.
What you doing? Open the door.
Well, I have a character in the gate.
Well, it was at the door, not like past the gate. The knock was at the actual door.
Quick question. Is the doorway to the super secret room still open?
Doorway to the vault was closed.
Gotcha.
And by the way, that was
we
in a
don't-
separate room than the first statue. That was in a
All
separate.
right.
I was assuming he's
So
searching
we don't need
for
to
it.
roll again. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
We don't need to roll again to find that room. Should we need to find that room again, right?
No, because you already know where it is.
Cool.
Opening it might be difficult.
There's another knock at the door.
Whatever's on the other side is either answers to this or more
Don't
questions.
open the door. Don't open that door. You won't like what's on the other side.
Only one way to find out.
Yep. Zeal puts her hand on her blade. She's ready for an attack, and she's going to go ahead and open.
Okay. When you open the door, there is a man in full she plate standing on the doorway with about 20 changelings in armor standing in formation behind him, like this full-on armor. They're all of different kiths, primarily trolls and satyrs. Oh, there's a few she and a few piskies you can see in there in the mix. And the man looks surprised to see Zeal opening the door. You are not of Baron Delacroix's household. Name yourself.
I am Lady Zeal Dawnbreaker of House Scatha. I have been asked by my Lord Baron of Manhattan to look into a sudden disappearance of our Baron Delacroix. Now I must ask, my lord, what is your name?
He straightens his back. I am Sir Etienne of Baroness Talarian's household. You expect me to believe an assassin is here investigating a disappearance? How do I know you aren't the one that caused the disappearance in the first place?
Considering I came into town only last night, which can be verified by many others, not of my own chain of command, and also considering the fact that his disappearance was also noted days beforehand, it would not be very prudent for me to be here. Now, I must ask you, my lord, why are you bringing an army into another baron's domain, regardless of whether or not he is here?
He looked somehow without like turning his nose up, he still manages to look down on her in that way only Arcadian she can, and says, I don't expect one of your house to understand how real nobles do such things, but
And I
the Baron has been dead for several
bring an
days.
invasion force onto another baron's land.
He has his hand on his blade right now at this point. And he says, if the Baron Delacroix's forces were not protecting his people, who is it to stop Baroness Talarian from protecting them? We've heard the news of the Thalane stalking the streets.
Sorry, I have returned. Question: okay, in my absence, how much lethal has Tim taken? Is it lots?
None, just lots of salt.
Not
there's lots
yet.
of salt. To stab the shit out of the guy right now.
There's plenty of salt to salt the wounds later, but like entering now would be great.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, what have I missed?
What's going on is a she knight in full sheet plate armor has showed up with about 20 other dudes to the Baron's freehold, demanding entry into the Baron's old freehold, accused Zeal of being an assassin. Zeal then accused the she of bringing an invasion force into the fucking barony. and they are about to stab one another.
Cardalin will step forward at this point. I think this is a thank God moment you came back. Okay. Tim, I know you hard, but you ain't fighting 20 dudes.
Look, all I needed to do was fight one. I was going to duel this motherfucker.
Cassie's learning many things at the foot of the statue.
The fuck was that? Holy
That was a
shit!
Sith. It was just a Kushi. That's all it was.
Okay, what was the name of the baron this chap is supposedly representing?
Baroness Talarian. The Lil that rules Brooklyn. Let me check which barony she rules.
I believe you did say Brooklyn.
I just want to double check so I don't give anyone wrong information. Yes, Streamer's Glass is Brooklyn.
Okay. Cardalin will step forward and he will say, on behalf of House Dougal, we would like to thank Baroness Talarian for her kind offer of assistance. However, in the absence of its baron, and we hope he should return, we would like to inform her that this barony shall, and neath the dreaming as our witness, remain in the hands of House Dougal. So it is with great reluctance that I, Baron Hammerfell, will take up the regency until such time as its legal baron returns.
His eyes go from Zeal to Cardalin, looks him up and down once, and then his eyes stop when he gets to your sword belt. And you see this dude's eyes get wide, and he goes, Why do you bear Caliburn?
Oh shit.
And then he raises his voice, Thieves! Thieves! Thieves and assassins! And you see like the army just eat the dudes behind him take up arms, and he's drawing his sword.
Zeal says, that's quite enough. You're hurling around quite a few baseless accusations. You're supposed to hold in front of somebody. We should settle this as in the old ways. Do you fashion a duel, good sir?
His eyes flash red, and make me a quick perception alertness, Tim.
Cool. I may have done goofed, but she certainly is not going to let her and all her buds get captured, so fight me, scrub, is kind of the only place she has right now.
I gotcha.
This is what I love about Changing the Dreaming. It's Game of Thrones on crack with magic.
There's 2 successes on perception alertness.
As this dude's eyes flash and he turns to look at you, you notice his skin glows faintly in the moonlight. Not like a cheese.
Is it like the Thalanes from earlier?
You betcha.
Aw, shit.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, Zeal calls it like it is then. She'll just say, although I have never been one to see a knight as passionate as yours. Thalane, maybe? And she quirks an eyebrow.
No, he's straight up going. He's actually drawn his blade and is slashing at her.
Oh, get it. Alrighty, we're rolling initiative then. Because I don't think that was a surprise action, because Zeal was ready to fight this dude day
No,
one.
that's not surprise action. I'm only gonna roll for his initiative because there's 20 of those dudes, and this is not a situation you're gonna fight your way out of. Just saying.
I gathered that.
Of course.
I tell you what, Tim, you concentrate on winning the duel, I'll do the rest. Okay, thanks, bye.
Well, it stands to mention they are still in the doorway. I don't know how big the door is.
Which way does the door open?
It opens outward. There's another door at the other end of the hallway from where they are standing. So I'm just looking up. I will roll for Cassie.
I don't know. Are we actually going to join the initiative? Because
Thank you.
we shouldn't get involved in a duel. Because it is kind of.
This is not a duel.
This is an all-out attack because there are 20 other
Yeah.
dudes about to fight.
She challenged him, and then he got mad and just kind of swung at her.
Okay, cool. Not a duel then.
Cassie's just gonna look around. What the fuck is a Thalane?
I did tell you what a Thalane was earlier. I did tell her what a Thalane was.
Okay, then Cassie will know then. Never mind.
It is. I just need Sue and Cardolin's rolls.
No worries, Joey. Get good, scrub. Just remember, Joey, magic is a crutch for losers. He says as he draws the magic sword of a parent. Fuck you. Yeah. This is going to end really bad.
Cassie's real glad she's got that ice sword now.
Yeah, Theo will say, if anyone here knows Wayfair, that would be very much appreciated right now.
Out of character, Cassie has Wayfair 1, but she doesn't know how to use it.
All right. All right. Here's our initiative order.
Yeah. Did Etienne ever mention his house?
Nope.
His house was probably Thalane, but still. Motherfucker could be like a Baylor or some shit.
Right. So he's going first. He's going for that slash.
Yep.
Joe, Kim, oh, sorry, not Tim. Tim, why do you have to keep taking lethal?
Huh?
Why do you have to keep taking lethal?
I don't know, man.
I see what I did.
Like, I noticed this is a thing with me, too.
Hey, he's got 4 to hit you.
He's got 2. That one cancels.
2. Didn't it already? Oh, that's right. That doesn't take. Okay. So he's still got 2.
Still has 2.
This is annoying because it doesn't remove from the doesn't remove ones. I always forget it doesn't remove ones automatically.
If you hit F1 after the 6, it'll remove.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So he's got 2 to hit you.
He's hit you with his rhythm stick.
Kinky?
Penis reference.
Keep on taking my lethal. All the time, just keep taking lethal.
So are you going to attempt to dodge?
No, she's going to stab this dude. She's going to stab this dude.
Tim, you took regeneration for a reason. You know yourself.
Yeah. I knew Zeal was going to be incredibly reckless.
All I'm saying is, I want to kind of hit him with the magic sword I just found to see what happens. What could go wrong?
So that's 3 lethal to Soap.
3 lethal, alrighty. Is it chimerical?
You are currently standing in a freehold, so you are technically in the dreaming.
Awesome. So I'm going to do my stamina first. There's 1 off, and then we're going to do our armor next. I take 1.
Okay. So as he slices your cheek, you notice it burns way more than a sword cut should.
Oh, crap.
Andy has
Sorry, Tim?
Oh, I just said Andy has poison.
So in 3 actions, Zeal will pass out. 3 rounds. So
Alrighty.
round 4, she's out. Oh.
Okay. Does quote unquote Etienne have any soft spots in his armor?
It's sheep plate. Doesn't look like it. At least not on quick glance.
Was his head? Did he have a helmet?
Yes, he did. These guys were dressed for war.
Alrighty. She's going to do her best then. She's going to swing at this dude. Two-handle with her broadsword.
Let's get it. Roll that beam footage.
Come for that ass, Tim. You must come for that ass.
Whew. It's just one success.
Okay, still enough to hit him since he cannot dodge.
Damn, that's 6 lethal.
All right, let's see how much of it he takes.
Sheet.
So his natural stamina is 3. So that's
Remember
nice.
though, Tim, this is Joey rolling soak.
Yeah, so this dude's wearing full sheep plate. That shit hurt. Alright, now it is on to Sue's action.
It's Sue's turn.
Yes.
Well, seeing this dude is not really a duel. You see Sue will jump up in the air and he will spin around really fast with her shins. He will roll 4 dice to attempt to grant his sword-wielding psychotic friend some extra action.
Alright, for that bunk, I'll say it's a -2 diff for the bunk.
Alright. What's he trying to cast? I couldn't quite hear that.
Flicker
Quicksilver, I
flash.
believe.
No, Quicksilver. The one that gives you extra action.
Right. Let me
Alright,
check.
awesome.
Make sure what the Piskies. Because I believe
Actor.
they're actor.
I
Okay.
was going to say, if he uses scene to do it, will that affect all of us?
Yes, and you'll all get the equal amount of extra actions because they've
Hooray!
changed that.
On our next turn.
Yeah, on the next turn. But
Think about it. Gonna willpower point.
and since you are in the near dreaming, it is base diff 7. 5
What is the
But so-
Fiskey's affinity roll? 'Cause I don't
actor.
know. Okay.
Diff 5 with an auto success for the willpower. You still got 1, so she'll get an extra action next round.
My bad. Sorry.
Hey, all good?
I'd rather have 2 actions than 1 action.
Completely.
Alright, now it's Cassie's action.
Alright, so are the other 20 dudes who are behind their so-called leader charging into the room or not?
They're starting to move up the steps, but they have not reached the door
Oh,
yet.
okay. Is the dude like in the way of the doorway?
There's enough room that you could go past him if you needed to.
Okay, Cassie's gonna try to make her way towards the door to try to close the door so they can't get in. Because she figures if it's an open door, as they're shoving, if she can get the momentum inside, they close the door on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So she's kind of skimming around the trouble and trying to make her way towards the door to pull it. And I can roll a strength to see if like she's able to like pull it quick enough.
Yep. Go ahead, roll strength. Actually,
Okay,
I
so
will
it'd be-
roll strength for you.
It'd be like 2 dice.
Yeah, it'll go great. However, you get a bit of a break because these doors are designed to be open and closed easily.
Hey,
Get good,
she
Scrub.
figures to lock him in with us.
You've managed to slip past and barely close the doors right as the first person hits them.
Sweet. Is there like a locking mechanism? Because I assume if it's like a barony, there should be some sort of like mechanism to keep them out. Because Cardalin did the oath, so like technically he said he'd protect the space. These people are intruders.
Oh,
Well,
crap.
What it is there's the double doors, and to one side there's a big wooden beam standing up that's got a hinge to fall down and cross the doors.
right to the hinge. Or at least
Okay, that will have to
the
be
hinge.
on your next step.
Okay, gotcha. Or someone else can help her with it.
Yes. It is Cardolin's action.
So this is the seat of the Baron for this area, right? So this is actually a freehold, right?
This is a freehold, yes.
And it was a Dougal Baron. I don't guess he happens to have like any like cool ass defenses that could be turned on.
He probably does, but they're probably somewhere further in the freehold, not up by the front door.
That's fair. All right. You know what?
Like,
Fuck
or I
it.
should
This
say
guy
not
appears
them,
to
but
be-
the controls.
This guy appears to be afraid of this sword. So you know what, motherfucker? Gonna draw this sword. Gonna hit him with it.
Well, he's not afraid of it. That's Caliburn. That's the sword of High King David.
I'm aware of this fact. I'm still going to hit him with it.
Right? It won't. If you try and draw it, it will not draw from its sheath.
Oh, because I'm not the High King. Balls. Okay. Cool. In that case, I will, however, draw my own sword and whale him with it.
Okay, what were you saying, Tim?
No, nothing. I was just saying. I was saying the same thing everyone was saying.
Yes, it wouldn't draw because I'm not the High King.
So go ahead and roll it.
Yet. Okay, cool. Great sword, don't fail me now. Where are we gone? There we go. Copy.
And he cannot dodge this.
Yeah, that's cool. 7.
One thing you can do is you can just copy like the roll above you, and then just
Yeah.
add in your own number dice and diff.
Ooh!
Whoa. I hit him with 7 successes because that 10 will probably double. So, okie dokie.
Okay, 6 rollover.
So that means a great sword is strength plus 2, or sorry, strength plus 6. That would make it 8 dice plus 6 dice, which equals 15 dice damage. Yeah.
Yep.
Whoop his ass.
He can only soak so much.
I'm coming for that bouquet. That bouquet is mine. Uh, 6 lethal.
Okay.
6. Hit it.
Let me roll his soak. He still has a chance to soak this. He takes 2 more.
Fuck.
Alrighty.
He is actively taking wound penalties now. Like, very actively, noticeably taking wound penalties.
Yeah, homeboy's at like, what is it, 5?
5. Yep. Action. He spends willpower to ignore wound penalties for the action. Draws something from get on his plate that opens up and throws it down at his feet.
Oh, dear.
Smoke bomb?
He is now gone. However, there's still the 20 people charging up at you. The door.
Cassie will feel free to remind someone, hey, you could just push that fucking lever. Thank you.
Yeah, no, Zeal's gonna get the door closed.
I'm going to recommend that we attempt to find the defenses for the freehold because we cannot let them take this freehold.
You cannot let them take that freehold, especially.
Well, as in changelings in general cannot let Tharlane. I actually think it's against the Ashit to let a freehold fall to Tharlane.
Oh, okay, then. Never mind.
It's super not okay.
So if we slam the door in their face, Joey, will it hold them for a little while?
With the bar down, theoretically it should.
I don't like the way he said theoretically.
To quote the Lord of the Rings, they've got a cage.
What'd you say, Marcus?
Said, so I'm gonna call the cops.
Do we have an equivalent
Think about it, bunch of guys.
police? Oh, that's right.
Bunch of guys hanging out outside acting a fool. I mean, yeah, why not? It'll disperse.
Using the gray to help the dreaming.
because then we would unfortunately be breaking another part of the Yashit by betraying our own to forces of banality.
I'm not betraying anybody. Let the cops show up, they'll disperse, and we leave. Not like they're gonna come in.
Oh. I'm going to attempt to find this place's defenses. If people care to join me, they can. If not, you can call the police if that is what you need to do.
Shouldn't we find where he went?
For anything. Just tell the freehold to do what you want because you done claimed it.
Joey, does it work like that?
Go for it. Try it.
In that case, he will Mother of Christ. He will kind of, he will look around at the walls and he will say, I, Baron Cardillan Hammerfell, who have claimed this place in the light of the dreaming, until such time as its lord and master returns. I stand his regent through test of time twixt and twain, until such time as it all becomes unwound and bound up again. I demand the defenses of this place be active, repel the attackers, send them screaming back to the nightmare from whence they came. I decided to be poetic.
I spent some glamour though.
I'll spend some glamour if I have to.
There's no response to your
I didn't hear you, Joey.
There's no response to your speech.
There was no response. Okay.
I do, however, have an idea.
I'm open to suggestions.
Well, we may be getting rid of one ham to bring another one, but if there's any kind of way to get out messages, could hit up the Baron of Mad Hatton who sent me on this mission. I'm sure he would love to know that there is someone attacking or attempting to invade one of his neighbors. It's a bit of a long shot, but...
Where's the Hothfire in this place?
What was that?
I'm unsure.
Where's the Hothfire? It's a freehold. Where's the Hothfire?
Are you talking about the... Do you mean the Balefire?
Whatever.
I think that
we do have a spot.
Oh, sorry, you continue, Tim.
Zeal say we do have a spot in the back that we have not checked yet.
You're not wrong. I think that we may... Do you have your phone... Oh, wait. Do phones work in the dreaming? They don't, do they? Calls.
Not Grey World phones.
Yeah, no, we are all... Yeah, we're all in our fame mains right now.
I was going to say, I desperately need to make us some dreaming phones at some point. Make a note of that.
Cassie will kind of poke out her head towards the group. While we should look for a way to communicate, I really do think we should find where that person went. I mean, smoke bombs, or could he have smoke bombed himself out, or would he have to leave through the door?
That's a question for you, my dear. You're the one who can tell us if he knows magic or not.
Alright, I'll try. I don't know, it kind of seems like one of those horror movies where you think the bad guy's gone, but he's really just lurking. And,
Edison.
Okay. Yeah, Zeal kind of... It looks like she's having trouble staying away. And she'll say, well, I do suggest we check out back.
Cardillan will walk over to the other she, and he'll basically put her arm around his shoulder so he can help you walk, because that's going to become an issue very shortly.
What did Cardillan do with the crown?
It's still on his person. He's just kind of got it. He tied it up in his cloak, and it's basically in his belt at the moment.
I would advise you check it.
All right. He will make sure it's still there.
Ain't there.
Oh, crap! Oh, crap! I'm going to hell. Okay. The crown. That thing. Of course. The allele crown, and of course the allele baroness. It makes sense, doesn't it? You'd almost think. But he can't have gotten out. It must still be in the freehold. I swore I'd keep that damn thing safe, and by hell and high water I'll do it.
Well, Maya, we're in that again. Yeah. Now, what was that? Can you repeat that, Evan, please? My bad.
He kind of had a speech, but he'll basically say, "Shit, the bastard's taken the crown." Of course, it makes sense. It's an allele crown. He was apparently sent by an allele baroness. So, but he can't have gotten out of the freehold. No, he's probably run deeper in. Damn it. I swore I'd protect that crown and give it back to its owner, and I'll be damned if I'm breaking an oath today.
I can certainly agree with that. There's a lot of sheep around here tonight.
Maybe the guy never showed up.
What were you saying, Marcus?
Maybe the guy never showed up.
What do you mean?
If the guy had 20 guys outside and you didn't bring them in, there's a reason for that. When you left,
I shut the door.
I didn't understand. They should have all just come in and rushed us. They could have did whatever they wanted to, but they didn't. They just stood at the door and talked. He was the only one that attacked. Not only that, when you left, there was some kind of shadowy thing. I think the defenses of this place are already active. I think we just don't know that they are active. How do we know we actually talked to that guy and it wasn't all, hoodoo or whatever?
You're right.
The crown went back to where.
But at the same time, we need to go, as I've said, we'll go deeper into the freehold. We'll try and find the balefire, maybe escape through the dreaming. But we have to see. I cannot let that bastard have the crown if he is indeed real, and this place cannot defend itself. I have sworn to do so, and I will give my life to do so.
And we should check the back, like Zeal said, and she'll kind of poke Zeal to kind of keep her awake.
Okay.
But Daddy, I want more carrot cake. Oh.
You can get carrot cake after your nap.
Let me know, Joey, when I'm going to have to start carrying Zeal physically.
Yep. So you guys are making your way towards the back of the freehold, correct? The third hallway? All right.
I'm watching the shadows. I have Wary as my perception thing. I'm just kind of watching.
Okay. Sounds good. I will let you know if you see anything. So the group makes it down that last hallway. There's only one room down that last hallway, the third hallway closest to the back. It appears to be a richly appointed, like, a receiving room sort of thing, with several other rooms branching off from it. But inside, you see a man with a child sitting on his lap, and it appears they were reading a book. They are also stone. If you investigate further back, you see there is a green fire in the form of like a hearth that is burning in a bedroom where there's a man, obviously she, lying in the bed with a dagger pointing out of his chest, like it's buried in his chest, and he's made of stone. Is not.
Question, because I may have met him at one point. Are any of these men the Baron? Because I may know what he looks like.
Roll intelligence politics. See if you remember.
Okay. I'm going to spend a willpower on this. I'm just not bothered to type with a willpower.
Okay. Make sure you're keeping track of your willpower spends.
Yep, I've spent 3 so far this scene. So that's 3 successes with the willpower spent, Joey.
Yep. So the man in the bed is the Baron. The other man is his husband, and the kid is their heir.
Oh, this makes me sad.
Damn.
Cassie's just kind of gonna look and raise an eyebrow. Are these any of the Baron?
The Baron is in his bed. His husband stands there with their child. Or sits there with
I'm
the
so
child.
sorry. I guess. So these are all people. Could we turn them back?
You know something? I think Carolyn's going to have a very... thank you. I was going to say Carolyn's going to have a very anime moment of he's just going to punch the wall and start shouting, "Damn it!" Because I'm not going to shout because there are people sleeping, but he'll just he'll punch it about 3 times until some blood runs down from between his knuckles, and till he composes himself, because these are all my bros. These are all Dougal bros.
Yep, Marcus, what's up?
This is my antithesis. They hurt a kid.
Ooh, okay. Banality. Or a banality trigger, I suppose I would say.
Oh,
okay. So roll your
me
glamour
look at
difficulty 8, Marcus. To see if you get the point of banality.
Joey, let's while we wait for that, I'm gonna have a look at the dagger when I'm done punching the wall, because it's not stone.
Yep. Just go ahead. The dagger. What's your crafts rating?
My crafts rating is 4.
Okay. All right, you are good. You do not take banality. So the dagger is obviously well made, and you've made some treasures in your time. That the way this is forged, it was forged, like the styling on it is very arcane. It was forged to hold some sort of magic.
Okay. Is it possible, because he's going to take a cloth basically from the inside of his robe, is it possible for me to remove the dagger without, and not to sound undelicate, breaking off the Baron's fingers?
His fingers are not around it.
Oh, he's just laying in the bed with the dagger in his chest, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, he'll remove the dagger, kind of like the... Does it come loose when he does so?
Yes, it comes loose, and as soon as it's out of his flesh, you see, like, from where the point of the dagger was, as soon as it pulls out, it starts turning back into flesh, emanating out from that point.
Oh.
Still bloody, mind you. But...
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh God. Cassie's just gonna look around. Wait. If
Pressure on that one.
Cassie's gonna look at Calderon. If he's turning back to flesh, does that mean everyone else is turning back to flesh?
That is a fair point. Are other people turning back to from stone to flesh?
Is anyone in the other room with the Baron's husband and his kid?
Maybe so.
For the sake of it, fuck it. You want to say Finn's there?
Finn, what happened with you was a woman just arrived at the... let's say you were at, like, your apartment, and a woman just showed up, said that your knight needed your help, tapped you on the brow, and all of a sudden you're standing right next to Zeal. That is literally what happened.
Mama, Daddy won't let me have more carrot cake. I very much want more carrot cake, thanks.
What were you going to say, John?
It sounded like that was fast.
But yes. The Baron's husband and the child are churning back to flesh slowly, and you can infer the other people are as well.
All right. You know something? If the hounds are still quite literally at the door, um, the Cardlin is going to kind of walk through the house basically because we saw a number of knights, statue knights, and he's just going to try and rally them, shouting, to arms men, the enemy is at the door. He will do all explanations if and when people start questioning him and don't just accept the fact that people are hammering down the door.
Well, it's taking a while. Like it'll take in total a good 15 minutes for everyone to be fully fleshed again, and the hammering at the door is no longer there. Like that's not happening anymore. But
Seal.
sorry, Marcus. I mean, or no, it was John.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Seal.
Oh, hey there. I did not smoke any weed tonight. I declined that often. That night was particularly rude to me. I'm very glad I gave worse than I got. There's a lot of sheep in here.
He's gonna start listening to see if anybody else is here.
Yeah, I'm going to assume at this point Cardlin and the rest kind of walk out of the Baron's bedroom. The room where you guys are.
After a moment of you guys being in there, I'm assuming by the time it takes you a while to realize to check that everyone's back. And as you're standing there, you see the transformation finishes. The Baron's husband and the kid look up. The kid starts screaming, like freaking out, and the dude he's lappy sitting on just is God, I can't English right now. Like he's gaping at you guys. He's in complete shock. Who the fuck are you?
You know what? At this point, Cardlin he'll put his back to the wall and he'll kind of sink slowly down on his haunches. And he's just he's having a minor mental break at this moment in time. So, yeah.
All right. Okay, then I'm gonna need your help, Buck. All right.
And Finn is gonna be like, "What happened to her?"
She was drugged, to answer your poisoned, rather.
Yeah. Anyway, to answer your question, my lord, I am Zeal Dawnbreaker of House Scatha, and I have been sent here by the Lord Baron of Manhattan to inquire into your husband's state, as we noted he was currently indisposed, and we have seen why. And problem, I do not want to say the problem has been rectified. The problem has been identified. So I will say that I am sorry for what has happened here tonight. Is he already passed? Is there nothing we can do?
The Lord Baron is dead.
Roll me charisma expression time.
I'll make that. Is he a noble? Counts as noble?
Yes.
So I get my +2 counts here.
Yes.
Get hell of that +2. Alrighty.
As the kid screaming has already attracted several knights.
I'm gonna spend that willpower because she knows her house. She knows this could be really bad.
Cassie's actually going to kind of get a little close and kneel down towards the general kind of headspace of the child.
Spend that willpower. She was quite drowsy.
What are you saying, Maya?
Cassie is going to kneel down towards the general direction of the general kind of like height of the child and friendly face. And she's just going to give him a soft smile and be like, "Are you okay? I know you're scared."
I'm going to have you roll the same thing. I just had Tim roll. So charisma and expression. Let's see how big
Neither.
the dice pool is.
Nothing.
Oh dear. Well, it's three. It's 3 dice.
Friendly face though. That mirror though.
1 second. Well, it drops down to diff 4. Hey, you have 3 successes, so the kid calms down a bit. But his dad is looking around at all of you completely bewildered. It's like, what? The sword from the vault. What's going on? Why are you all in our home? What? The
Sir?
Baron is dead?
Cardlin will stand up at this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Cassie's gonna look up from her kneeled position, just kind of look at him. Sir, we have all the answers, and we are more than willing to give you them. Something severely bad has happened, though. You guys have been gone silent for some days now. We've been sent to investigate, and what we found was alarming. Paladin over here, Sir Caliban over here, will help as much, but he is also in shock for. We have seen what has happened to your husband, and after what had happened today, everything is very complicated. We will do all we can to help, but we do need to keep our heads calm.
Let Maya finish, please.
But we will do our best to keep our heads calm for fear of alarming some who might not understand. And she'll kind of gesture her head towards the kid who is just calming down.
Cardlin is going to stand up at this point, and he's going to kind of adopt his I am authoritative she pose, because God knows all she have them. And he's going to say, Knights, my name is Baron Cardlin Hammerfall ap Dougal. I would ask you, he will look kind of, is there a woman in the room, or like a lower functioning servant?
There's no servants in the room. The only women are the ones that are here with you.
Okay. He will say, how old is the child?
Probably about 6. At the knights have pretty much all of you at sword point, though.
Yeah. You know what? Let's when he finishes that, he will do the whole. My name is Cardlin, Baron Cardlin Hammerfell ap Dougal. A lord and a lord sworn in trust of your house. Basically, you're not my sworn swords. However, you will, in accordance with my noble right, stand down. And he's going to roll that sweet charisma leadership to see if he can get them to stand down.
Go for it.
Oh, Hashtag that she life. Hashtag that she life. Because I have that thing, it drops to difficulty 5. That is 3 successes.
Okay, so they're starting to lower their swords, but at this point, the other Baron, in he's a she as well, and you know that old effect they had in 2nd edition, when she got really pissy. That's what's going on. Like the dreaming itself is reacting to this, because he went while you were calming the night sound. He went and checked in the bedroom, and he pretty much goes out in a voice that hurts your ears a bit.
To us or to his knights?
To you guys. Like he's shielding his kid behind him. He said out. Like in a thunderclap voice.
Okie dokie.
Like he's shielding his kid behind him. His knights are kind of hesitating because Cardlin was, he's kind of going, I'm a noble, you respect me, but they're unsure.
Cardlin will turn very slowly, very, very slowly, and he will say, "You and I could pull sheep off." Question: Because when you say he's also the Baron, was the one in the bed, because I did succeed in the politics role, was he the main, like, you know how they're husband and husband? Which one of the husband team was actually the Baron and which one was the Baron's husband?
The other one was the Baron, but this one is the Baron by birth, or not by birth, by marriage.
Okay.
Which is
So
still pretty legit.
Mm-hmm.
what was I going to, what did you say, Tim?
I said it's still pretty legit, so you can't really be like, you're just a Baron's husband. Like, nah.
No,
Well,
but he will.
The
he
child
will,
is the heir.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Just to let you guys know, it's like 1:33 and I have to go to bed, so I'm probably just going to be on silent until
Okay.
Okay.
oh, sorry.
No worries. Cardlin will incline his head and he will say, "Very well then. We will leave. Or rather, we will retire outside. You will have questions. We will be there to answer them when you are ready."
He's glaring. Yes, because you come into my home. I awake. My husband is dead, and you are carrying one of the greatest treasures of our freehold. And I'm not supposed to be suspicious.
Are you questioning
Nah,
my
you'd be an
honor,
idiot if you
sir?
weren't.
What'd you say, Marcus?
So you'd be an idiot if you weren't.
You know what? Because Marcus spoke before me, I'm going to kind of take that as a grain of salt and not have said you disrespect my honor. But he will nod and he will say, "As I have said, we will wait without until you have the time to speak with us, and then we will hopefully bring light to this rather calamitous conundrum."
He nods his head towards one of the knights. He will escort you to the treasury. You will put the artifacts we were entrusted to guard back. Self out.
I will point out, my lord, that one of your sacred treasures, the crown bearing the Alleel's crest, was stolen. Not by me.
His eyes go wide at that, and he says, "Do you know by whom?"
A servant of Baroness Trevelyan?
Trillion, I believe. Let me check. I forget her name because her name is one of the weird ones. Actually, let me check.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
know that.
Telerian.
He named himself a servant of Baroness Terrellian.
That don't mean it was true.
It doesn't, but that is how he named himself.
Bullshit stuff.
He came to your door attempting to establish protection in your barony, which we politely disagreed on his assertion.
He calls over one of the knights in the room to him. The guy goes over and he says, "Check with the security bats. See if they saw anything. See if they can corroborate this story. Quickly." Then the knight hurries off.
No, coincidentally, as I should probably do this for the sake of the freehold, he will turn actually to the young boy and he will kneel down. Because technically speaking, if I remember the rules of changeling inheritance right, the boy is now technically the master of the freehold. Me?
Well, he's the heir of when the Bold's parents are dead. Right now,
Okay. In that case, he will turn and he will say, "If your security are indeed apt, then they will be able to tell you this. In interregnum, until such point as we identified the fate of the Baron, I, in the eyes of the dreaming, took possession of this freehold to keep it in safe trust, so it would not fall into the hands of the enemy. However, I, Baron Cardlin Hemmerfell, in the eyes of the dreaming, do hereby relinquish any claims that I may have staked upon this Bimance in favor of," and he will gesture at the Baron, "so that as he is the rightful ruler, and thus there is no more requirements of the regency. This I swear before the dreaming once, twice, and thrice." I will replace your sword in the treasure vault, and then myself and my companions will leave.
He nods. He's just holding his head back, like behind him, protectively. But he's just watching as you guys turn to leave or whatever you guys are doing next.
As he's leaving, Cardlin will say, I swore a second oath before the dreaming that I would return the treasures of your treasury to you, should it be that they were taken, stolen, or befouled. I am not an oath breaker. You have my word that I will return the stolen crown to you, or see that it is returned to you.
As a knight of this kingdom, I witnessed him take this oath.
The Baron nods.
What was that, Joey? I only heard the last syllable of that.
No, I said the Baron nods.
Okay. In that case, unless anyone goes to stop me, I'm going to put the sword back. I'm going to question why they have King David's sword.
Yeah, why the fuck is Caliburn here? Like, that's what Zeal was thinking the whole time. Like, why is Caliburn here?
I may have to write a letter.
Are you actually asking that, or are you guys just saying that out of character?
We're just saying that out of character. Now is not the time to
Okay.
ask why they have shiny, shiny shit.
I'm dumb. I'll ask him.
Okay. He will turn to Sue and say, because the High King wanted it put up. He wanted it kept safe. He only wants to use it in times of war. High King David messed. So he wanted us to keep it here. Evidently, that was a bad decision.
Okay. I was just curious.
He'll nod, and he'll just keep watch. He'll watch you guys until you're out of the room.
Yeah.
Because parents who just lost, their other half, kind of protective of their kids.
Oh no, it makes entire sense. We're not like,
A
Cardinal
random
will
motherfucker
replace-
we don't know, including two members of the assassin house just chilling there, like, hey, what's up?
Right?
Oh shit, you already met. Oh fuck, I forgot that dang.
Yeah, no, we're the assassin house. We directly get bonuses to assassinate the motherfuckers.
But yeah, you guys are able to replace, this Caliburn in the treasury and leave easily.
Okay.
So what do you guys do from there?
As they walk as they walk down the street, kind of as they get maybe a block away, Cardlin sighs as he looks down at the dagger. Ugh, he doesn't like the fact he still has this, but it's the only clue they really have as to who might have been involved in this, so he needs to try and find out where the magic came from and all that good shit.
Yeah, Zeal will look to Cardlin and say, since you were the one that came upon it, I'm sure that you can find somebody that can, I don't know, glean something from it.
Thomas, get the big dog thing.
How we do. I, however, must go and report this to Baron of That Hand, for he is the one that signed me into this task. And I will certainly tell him of the great help that Sue provided us with.
What? I didn't do nothing. There's one thing though. In the gray world or whatever, I got this job that makes me have to think on my toes a whole lot. Is real a problem that you guys are gonna have to have is people keep saying things, you keep accepting it at face value. I can call myself Duke whatever or Knight whatever. That don't mean I am.
No,
you guys start going. I'm just saying, if you guys are gonna go places and make these reports and tell people that this guy showed up and this guy showed up, you gotta make fucking sure that people are who they say they are.
For one thing, I'm not entirely sold on that night's story on him being sworn to the Baroness of Brooklyn. May have been an intimidation tactic for us. However, that's something we'll be finding out in the next few days.
just like all these reports you guys are doing. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you to do your jobs. You guys are trained all kind of whatever. But in the streets, you make sure because you never know when the guy who you're reporting to is going to shoot you in the fucking face because you told him the wrong shit.
He has a point. Just as a voice standing off to the side of you guys.
Oh, out of character. I figure Zeal's okay now, right?
She's still drowsy. Like that was some heavy poison that she got.
Okay, if she didn't have regen, she might be dead. Like AF.
Yeah.
I was going to say, holy crap, it's Galadriel again.
God damn.
Nope, she's just standing there leaning against the the group.
Is it weird that I find it hard to picture Galadriel ever leaning?
Right?
She's like a bad penny.
My lady.
Lines their head towards Zeal. I see you have taken some harm in defense of the Baron and his interests. Here. She just pulls out a potion and hands it to him, or like a glass filled with a green liquid that you can assume is a potion.
Do it then, drink the liquid.
Oh, she handed Zeal a potion?
Yeah.
She'll say, well, I tend to heal a bit faster than most.
Drink it.
All right.
Your healing, Sue is correct. Your healing will not stop against venom diluted from a Kuseth.
Oh, well, that's what hit me.
Part of it, yes. This is an antidote.
Well, I humbly thank you. Which Zeal will go ahead and drink the potion.
Maybe it was a lotion.
Yeah, no, the potion, it doesn't take effect immediately, but you definitely start, your head clears pretty quickly after taking it.
Well, that certainly feels nice.
All right, lady. You know something about what's going on. This is bigger than the shit we keep running into. So if we're going to be involved in this shit, you're going to keep showing up on the sidelines. You're going to have to tell us something.
She looks to Sue impassively and says, I can tell you the one who made that dagger and the magic within it. I am forbidden from telling you who hired her. I think she is.
Forbidden by your house.
She looks back to Zeal and says, forbidden by oaths sworn long ago.
Well, I suppose you don't look the gift horse in the mouth. So, who made the dagger?
A river hag who resides at the bottom of the Hudson. She's very old and very temperamental. But if you pay her enough, she will do favors. I recognize the scent of her magic.
By the way, sorry, just a quick note. Somebody said check your PM. I don't have a PM from you. Or if I do, it's Facebook being weird because we're not friends on Facebook.
Check your message requests.
Not from me, from Maya.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, she just looks at the group after she says that.
Well, then it looks like we have our next step.
Oh, you guys get a coin. Freaking out of character. Do we know do we know all the kits, or is it like super secret squirrel knowledge of all the kits?
You know all the kit. You know all the Kithane kits and most any kith that would be commonly known. Like you might not know the Hessian kiths or like the Nunahai kiths, but you know all like the main Kithane kiths and like the ones that are in the back of the Ghislaine section, like Wolpertinger and Witchtel, Morganeds, that sort of thing.
Would we also know about our Thalain counterparts? Like, she would know what a Svartal is?
You would need specific knowledge just for that.
Okay.
I personally believe in the Boggin Master race. In that
you guys
case,
want to ready to go deal some old grump freaking red cap chick that lives underwater who makes magic evil weapons? We got something to trade for this lady or what?
no, I have nothing to trade with her. I can, however, beat her to within an inch of her life until she gives me the fucking answers I require.
Considering she was complicit in an assassination attempt, that is an option on the table.
You don't know that. She made a business transaction. She knows they're gonna use a freaking knife for.
You know something? Actually, he will calmly look at the other she, the Iluna she, and he will say, "I take it that she trades for items or rare things as opposed for money."
She looks back at him and says, "Perhaps. It is up to her what she deems worthy of a trade. My sister is not picky."
Well, okie dokie.
Look,
So
you
to answer
guys
that
sit on a
question-
mission, right?
Hmm?
Zeal got sent on a mission, right?
Correct.
So you guys sit on a mission. So you tell your boss, we need this information. Maybe he'll pass you along something we can use as a trade. And then even Stevens, and then we find out what we gotta know.
Well, first we need to know what she wants for the information.
Either the Baron you are working for could give you something that she wants. He knows her, even
I'm
if
talking
only
about.
on a professional level.
In that case, gentlemen, I think that we should withdraw for now, lick our wounds, and contemplate our next step. There's no point in rushing down to the Hudson this late in the evening. There's always tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I got a day job, so yeah.
The Ilunid nods and says, "Her name is the Luidake. If you wish to summon her, go to the edge of the Hudson and call out her name 3 times. She will find you."
It would seem as though we are in your debt, my lady.
She smiles, says, "You are not in my debt. I am simply fulfilling old debts that I owe." And then she looks at Finn and says, "I trust your mother is doing well."
Is it the same voice who took him from the apartment to here?
Yes.
She's doing well considering what's happening.
She
Sure.
nods and says, "Very well. Fires and open roads to all of you, and good luck," she says as she just turns and walks down the road, turns a corner, and disappears.
That's a neat trick.
Well, as our friend Sue here said, we do have day jobs, most of us.
It's been real, it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun.
Cardlin will look at Zeal and he'll say, "You have an odd habit of getting hit an awful lot."
Yes, that seems to be a newly acquired habit. I will
You
admit,
require.
I'm very good at it.
Um, is uh Finn is going to like turn his head towards Cardalin and is gonna be like mouth. He's not saying this, but he's like mouthing it out, like lying.
Mouthing what, sorry?
He's like mouthing out lying without saying it.
Excellent. Well done there. Cardlin will say, I think that you require something with, well, for a start, that shows your status and your authority slightly better than what you wear, but also protects you and your apparently rather squishy innards slightly better than it does. Leave it with me.
I mean, I didn't find anything wrong with what I'm wearing, but if you are offering, then I think I would be quite rude to decline, especially from Dougal.
Hmm. He'll look at the satyr and kind of gesture like, "Should I give some to him too?" I
I would very much appreciate something nice for my squire.
Very well then. Who is your lord?
I do not have one, Lord Cardinal, and I am a knight errant. I simply travel.
You're a bum.
Not quite. I tend to find good places to stay while I am out. I am a damn good bartender, if I say so myself.
Okay.
All right. I'm assuming it's a good place to end the scene if everybody's good with that.
Yep. All right. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. See you on the other side.